This is my place. I'm building a lighthouse right there. We
This guy right
got
here is the
the
lighthouse?
entrance. Yeah, yeah. Well, this with the red ring around it. This is our to be
Okay.
eventually a White House. We got a little farm, a little mine shaft behind us. Plenty of trees that you're welcome to use so long as you replant them.
Okay.
Um, we have my house here that I built in a single episode. Hello?
Yes. Sorry, the music was screaming at me.
Oh,
Okay.
oh no, you're good, you're good. I got my little house. You are welcome to
Whoa.
use as many resources as you need to build whatever you want.
Okay.
And then I'll show you what the other people have made. We have Hyun's little hut. This is what Hyun built.
Okay. I remember this looks very similar to the one that we had on
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
episode.
he likes very small builds. This is
Yeah.
Loonsar's.
Very impressive.
Oh yeah,
Not
very.
problematic at all. Hi, good. Good
No,
use
no.
of
He
enter.
said that if he gets another episode, he's gonna make it worse. So I look
Hanging
forward to
furnaces.
that.
I appreciate that. Very good.
Yeah.
I do like the opposite of the open floor plan. Very cool.
Yep, yep. And the bed placement as well is
Bed placement is
unfathomable.
good. It is good.
We got Stom's little wooden cube. The entrance is
Okay.
right here.
And okay. Then he has the portal behind him. This is it.
Yes,
A
he
minute.
does. Yep, this is his whole house. No lights at all.
Looting him. Okay.
And then my friend Pieman made a parkour course.
Oh, parkour.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's parkour, and he made this little nether hut. And then just last
Okay.
episode, my dear friend Rax D built this
Awesome
little
sauce,
home.
floss like a boss. YouTuber house. This looks like a YouTuber house. I can tell because of the way that it is.
sure
Wow.
was.
Wow. Yes.
Yep.
Oh yes. Very YouTuber house. Ah, YouTuber furnaces. Very nice.
Yes, very.
Oh yes.
But yeah, feel free to create whatever you so please, whatever
Okay.
your heart desires. And if you need anything,
Okay.
let me know.
I think I need food to start, and
yeah.
and maybe an axe.
Oh,
Like
wait,
it's
wait.
to get to chopping.
Take this.
Yum. Baked potato. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If you need to use the farms over here to get food as well, you are more than welcome to use it. Just as long as it's
Okie dokie.
replanted.
Ha kitaki.
All right. Well, how have you been, sir?
I'm good. I've been doing pretty good. I'm
I don't
pretty
think I've ever called you sir.
no, not ever. I'm definitely not I'm not very sirable.
Oh, well, I've done it anyway. I hope that's okay, sir.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, we forgot our hook. Let me think. Chat. Guess what? Today we're doing a
God.
challenge, and today's
No,
challenge is we're
no,
gonna
no,
see
no,
who
no.
can collect 100 blocks of bedrock first. But here's the deal: we cannot use tools. All right, here we go.
Oh my god.
All right, there we go. There's our hook.
Ugh, absolutely not. It's like the thing this series is supposed to completely be the opposite of.
Exactly. I'm gonna do it the whole time.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Oh
Where
my
do you think I
God.
can find some sheep? We need wool to make a bed. Now, I think beds are how you respawn, and I plan on dying, so we gotta
God.
find the wool.
How do you? Okay, sorry. How old are you again?
I don't know. 35.
Okay, my biggest question has been how the hell do you always have so much energy?
You guys get 100% of all of my interaction. I basically just recharge all week, and the anytime you're seeing me is like I'm using 100% of my social energy and interaction. My whole battery. I'm just
Wow,
I don't
so-
the battery's on max at all times, right? But I'm just like regen all week.
That's
gotta be it. That's got to be it. That's
So
not
even
it.
even when you're with your child, you're just like, hey Hudson.
I'm like a zombie. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm actually no. I don't know. I really don't have a good answer for that. I think it's like practicing being tired my whole life. You know, because like for so long I would like barely get any sleep, and so I think that if I'm on like 5% energy as a human creature, I'm just like, whoa, I can do anything. I'm so awake and alive.
It's just impressive to me how much you can. Oh yeah, we can sleep. We can sleep. That's
Yeah.
a good idea. That's
I
how
autopiloted
Phantom's
to the
last
nearest bed.
episode. No, I envy your energy levels because I'm only 24. I'm 11 years younger than you, and I get so much more tired so frequently.
Dude, I don't know. Have you ever stayed up too late, right? And you reach this like
Yes.
point where you like catch a second wind, and it's like you were tired at like 10 or 11 p.m., but then like 3 or 4 in the morning, all of a sudden you start waking up more, and you're like,
Oh
oh
my
no.
god. Dude, me and Stom were no, it wasn't Stom. It was Rojaki. Me and my friend Rojaki were talking about this literally yesterday. I was getting in such a groove for animation for my project, but like I have meetings early in the morning, so I can't stay up and just animate all night, but I'd love to because that's when I have the energy to do so.
So I feel like age wise, I'm at my 3 or 4 a.m. spike. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like my energy level, I think I've hit the very overly tired, exhausted hump, and I'm into delusional land of energy. Like my battery should be empty, but I'm on my spike for some reason. That's the only way I can describe. I don't know. I don't really have a good. I really don't have a good answer for it. I've tried to look at it that way, but yeah, I don't know. I just live in the moment, I
That's
guess.
wild. It's
I
not
guess.
allowed.
Okay.
That's my only thing. Like I'm
Not
jealous.
allowed. It's not
It's
allowed.
not allowed. It's not
Only
allowed.
good small doses, dude.
Oh man. I usually come into these with a few things to talk about, but I feel like you're so easy to talk to, I just don't need to try.
Good. I'm glad that you shouldn't have to try because you really shouldn't have to try. We can talk about whatever, dude. I'll go on forever about anything.
Hell yeah. I suppose I am interested on your opinion on where the community is at right now, because something that I've been talking about a lot in the series, actually,
Hmm.
is the relevancy, popularity, and community of the stick figure and dojo community. So I'm curious
Well,
because you came back after a long time,
hmm
and I'm sure. I mean, I know that you still had an eye on everything, but like, in your perception, what is the community like compared to how it used to be? Do you think that we're still yet to see a peak, or if we've already peaked?
I honestly think we're nowhere near peaking. I think in comparison to the old days, if you scale the internet to its size then and the amount of people that were on it, in the earlier days,
Yeah.
I think it's somewhat relative. I think that the community as a whole is still definitely niche in the sense that it's you have to like in order to describe it to anyone outside of it, you have to like give them training wheels to understand what you're beginning to talk about, right? You have to be like, okay, so have you seen stick figure animations online? Yeah. Okay. Have you seen the one where he like destroys like the desktop and stuff like that? Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that, yeah. Okay, it's kind of like that. Like you have to like, so it's not, it's
Yeah.
still niche enough that anyone who doesn't that you don't know what their knowledge is on it, you have to kind of like baby them into describing what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it is also mainstream enough that you can almost do that to just about anybody. So I think that's a sweet spot. Because there's one thing that I've learned about popularity is that it can be bad. It can be really bad.
Oh
But let
my
me
god,
explain.
yes it
But
can.
let me explain though, because like everyone on the internet essentially wants the same thing, and it's like whatever you're doing, you want to be popular, right? If you're content creation in any form, animation or otherwise, you want whatever you're doing to be seen by people, right? But there's a healthy curve and there's an unhealthy curve.
Uh-huh.
A healthy curve is something like, and I gotta be careful here because I don't want to give like attention to any one person or be entirely wrong.
Yeah.
But let's think like, man, what's a good one? Healthy curve. I would want to say something like Markiplier, right? In the sense
Yes.
that he's been doing it for a very long time. He was a pioneer in different ways for different things, and uh, he is definitely worldwide known, very popular, very diverse. But he also built slowly with exponential growth, but still slowly over a long period of time, right? That allows people to have a healthy background of like not immediately hating somebody. like, and what I mean by that is like, let's give the other the contrast to make more sense of what I'm trying to say. The Hawk Tour girl, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying anything about her person. I'm talking about how she got famous as a specific example. It's
Oh,
like
yeah, she blew
overnight,
up.
small
Yeah.
clip, really explosive, and then it's like, boom, podcasts, boom, interviews, boom, on all these other like shows. Instantly, like within a week, millions and millions and millions of people now know who she is. When I saw that she was blowing up, not knowing anything about her, I was like, oh, that sucks. Like 2010 me would be like, oh, that's so cool for somebody, like, oh, that's so exciting. I literally in the beginning of the peak of her hitting popularity, again, with nothing to do with any of the context of anything else other than how they are rising to stardom or to online fame, I was like, oh, that's awful. Because the faster you go parabolically up, the quicker anyone and everyone will try to pull you down. And all of the people who gave you praise or accolades or any kind of attention, even if it's just like minor, like someone saying Haktua to their friends, going ha ha ha, and then continuing their life, they're gonna immediately abandon you because they have no real ties to you. And so as soon as someone's like, did you hear Haktua girl did something bad? You go, okay, well, I hate her now. That's enough. I'm not even gonna investigate it. I don't care. And again, I need to keep reframing this because I don't even know her whole situation. It's just purely about going parabolically popular and then straight up, and the almost guaranteed downside of that versus longevity over time, because then you build nostalgia and you build rapport, you build respect, you pull in the right people, and I think that's how the Stick Figure community has grown over the years. And I am incredibly grateful for that, because if it is in any other way, if it is the parabolic way, it could ruin everything all at once and put a bad taste in the global internet's mouth, and that's it. It's over. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was, whatever issue that caused any kind of like kink heading back down was invalid or not. As soon as the public perception about something is decided globally, it's over. So I think that where it's been as a community over the years and growing over time is exactly where you would want it to be. And that's why I think it's special to so many people in so many different ways still.
Interesting. Wow, how sophisticated you are. I didn't really have anything to add. You just kind of said everything.
Dude, I feel so bad when I do that though, because
No,
I have to say sorry all the time, and I have to do it in public too, or like when I'm hanging out, because I feel like I have a habit of steamrolling or covering all the bases of the conversation on one hand, like single-handedly, and then I don't know. I feel like I kill interaction with people. It's like a boner kill.
Oh no, I don't think it's like that. It's a funny way to put it, but I don't think it's like that. I think it's just people enjoy listening to you so much that they don't want to interrupt you.
I never know that. I always have a sense of like chronic unimportance. So I feel like when in my mind's eye, when I feel like when I'm talking for too long, then I'm like, oh, people could be glazing over at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I gotta wrap this up. They're glazing. It's the point of glazing over.
Oh man. So you think we have yet to TLDR? You think we've yet to reach our peak?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How slowly it's been going.
And its growth is slow, but the size is good, but nowhere near the peak, and that's exactly where you would want it to be. Because if it went parabolic, like we hit some like Shock 3 was released 20 times in a row, whatever the comparable thing to that would be, it would probably lose all validity for the next like 10 years of being like really seeing positive growth in bringing in a lot of people. Because inevitably when something goes parabolic instantly, there's it's so rare to see someone overnight success or something overnight success and then it have longevity. A good example of something that's not a person. Remember that game Flappy Bird? I think it was called Flappy Bird.
Oh my god, yeah.
Right? Overnight, like the #1 app in the world, like bigger than Angry Birds. And then what? Within like 3 months, it no longer even exists. You know what I mean?
That's because they removed it. Like they deleted it
because it was too popular and it overwhelmed the person. They were like they were like freaking out about it, right? So like, and I think honestly, for their perspective, at the time it seemed insane to everyone. I was like, that's actually like the most genius play I've ever seen in my life. Because I was like, if I'm that dude, again, maybe they understand what I'm saying exactly how I'm saying it. They realize, oh my god, this is so parabolic. Like this is like a hot potato. I don't know how it's gonna ruin my life, but it's gonna ruin my life. I better get away from this quick. You know what I mean? Like, take my earnings, take the value it added to the world, and get out. Because I don't deserve this that fast, you know.
Sorry, I get so easily distracted.
It's all right. That's where I'm just collecting flowers.
Oh wow, what do you think you're gonna build?
I don't know yet, dude. Usually, when I play video games, and I'm an avid video game player, I seldom can't take it not seriously. In the sense that, like, I can do silly things, but I quickly will be like, all right, I like this. I'm going to dump 1,000 hours into it and do nothing else.
Yeah.
You know? So to, like, casually play Minecraft is hard. My brain doesn't casually play it. Like, I'm like... Last time I played Minecraft, I was going to clear out a chunk by hand using dynamite.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like 1 million blocks or something like that. So, and that was what I started with. I was like, all right, I want to play Minecraft again. And so I did, you know, make a dynamite farm in the nether and clear out a chunk by hand in the nether. And, you know, and then once I had that and the dynamite farm made, then I could start making the flyover dynamite machines and start carpet bombing everything. Yeah. So I don't know. My scale in my brain for Minecraft is not on an hourly basis. So I'm trying to figure out what I could do for fun.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm heading back up to sleep with you. Hang on, I'll be there in a minute.
That's okay.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, brother, finally.
Well, not like that. Not like that.
Yeah.
Get away.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. You have a fucking family.
I do. I think that's one thing that I have unique on like most people that I talk to that are in my circle that like the similar things that I do. Is like I have all the like normie checkboxes, you know, of like a house, a kid, a wife, dog, you know, like all of the default stuff you're supposed to have done in life, quote unquote, asterisk.
Mm-hmm.
But I yeah, I don't know. That's like my only decidedly different thing. I feel like amongst my online gaming friends and stuff.
Well, Nazul also has a family.
He does. He very does.
And I'm sure there's plenty of other members in the community, but like you're obviously the most prominent, at least in modern day stick figure animation.
I would say most active would probably be better. You know, most active with those same ingredients that I'm aware of. You know, I'm sure there's other people out there, but you know what I'm saying.
For sure. Does it baffle you, the amount of attention that you still get after being absent from the community for so long?
Absolutely paralyzes me. I don't get it at all. I really don't.
What do you mean?
I really
I
can't. Well, like I can't fathom it. You know, it's like trying to actualize what $1 billion is, like what 1 billion actual units of something is. Like it's so impossible for me to like begin to think about. Because when I try to think of like the factors that go into it, I go, why would you know me? Why would you know my name? Why then? And then once you learn, why would you care? You know, like even if you go to like the best of things that I would have done and have done in the realm of what it means for other people, still at the end of the day, I can only imagine someone be like, oh, that's cool. You know, like,
yeah, you can't imagine them obsessing over it.
No, or not even obsessing, even just being like, wow, that's actually really cool. I can imagine just being like, okay. Like at peak, at the most it could be is like neat, I guess, you know? But I've always kind of had that issue too of like chronic unimportance. I've never understood me as a person being important or anything I've done holding significance. And I know that sounds ironic because I talk about how people are important and how you are significant like on a number of times.
So you're
and I think I think I'm just projecting. I think it's just like me trying to tell myself that, you know, because and not because it's a point of something that I feel comes from the inside. I feel like that's what a lot of other people have told me, and it's like they've shown me a mirror to myself and have shown me like all of these things that I've done I didn't think was important, but it held so much importance to so many people over such an extended period of time that I'm constantly reminded like, oh, some things you do matter and you do have an impact on people, but I still constantly fight it within myself on like a normal human level. Like for instance, the best example I have for this is like I'll get invited to someone's birthday party, right? And then something will come up and I can't go. And I don't even bother to say why I can't go, which you're like, oh, rude. But my mindset isn't like I'm being rude. It's like, well, they're not even gonna know something. Like, it's not that important that I'm there or not. Not that I don't want to be there for them, but it's like, who's gonna notice? Why would they why would they care? What's the big deal? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, the core of it is like it truly does 100% baffle me. I don't know that I can understand it truly.
Wow. Would you? God, sorry, I'm trying to think. What keeps you coming back?
I have relinquished myself to bringing too much logic to a lot of the decisions I make a while ago. But let me explain. Instead of thinking too much about why I might do or do something, right? Like coming back, I allow my gut instincts of how I feel guide me, because I feel as though when I reflect back on my life, all of the significant things that I've done never came from a point of understanding what I was doing or why I was doing it, but the core was always this feeling I have within myself to just do it. Because there's almost anything I've ever done, there's always been profound reasons to not do it. And those profound reasons are usually very justified logically. But had I not done them, I probably wouldn't have ever seen success or joy in such a large way, a number of different ways. You know, whether it be starting Stick Figure Animation, which I was directly like pointed at and told, you cannot do this. This is not a job. You need to like do real life things, right? Or selling Pokemon cards for a living, which I then ended up owning a physical store, and like one of the top Twitch stream, like, you know what I mean? All these things that logically don't make any sense, but I never really concerned myself with the logic behind it. And you just sat with how does this make me feel? You know? And if it just feels right, like it feels like I should do it, I do it. And so me coming back to the community wasn't really as much of like a planning, you know, bar for bar, what I'm going to do, why I'm coming back, what you know, what that means and everything, as much as it is just kind of like listening to that gut feeling and being like, it's time, you know, and also realizing that I could. Sometimes my wants are stripped away from me, you know, the opportunity to come back wasn't there. And it was realizing that, oh my God, like I can do this again. Which I think was the leading factor as to why we're having this conversation now is, you know, like the building blocks of what I needed to come back. But I think the feeling or want to come back had always been underlying.
How do you still have time for it? Because that's something that I'm like terrified of, is losing time to do this stuff that I really like. I prioritize my joy first. I prioritize doing the things I want to do first. And I try to minimize and remove all the other things that I don't want to do. I know it sounds really simple and really like, also like, I don't know, like, I don't know what to say. Like privilege? Because I'm going to get really, really personal as to why I'm asking. You know, a number of months ago now, I broke up with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And a big reason was because I was focused too much. I felt like a big reason was because I was focused too much on my work, and I wasn't able to put in enough time with her into that relationship. And then it fell apart because I wasn't giving her the amount of attention that she needed. Not that she wanted, but just like the bare minimum.
Absolutely. I get that.
Like, how do you... I don't know.
Can you balance it?
a person.
No,
Yeah,
no,
how do
it's
you
super
balance
valid.
it?
So I poorly. Poorly. I balance it poorly. Over
I mean,
years of practice.
I'd imagine you still have a good relationship with your wife.
Like a beautiful relationship. But we
Yeah,
went
we're just
through
really happy for you.
many very similar things. You know, it came with a lot of understanding, deep understanding of each other's faults, and accepting of those faults. Like she knows that I get hyperfixation. I have really high hyperfixation. It's part of what makes me really great at things. It also makes me terrible at other things because hyperfixation, it's all encompassing. You know, I get really into
Oh,
something
yeah.
and
It's your
she just
life.
knows that yep, she just knows that this is the thing he's going to be into. So he's going to be a little bit neurotic for a while because it's all his brain's going to be focused on. And she understands that about me, you know, and I understand that she understands that. And so a lot of the time it just comes down to self-sacrifice of sleep, to be honest. For like a decade or more, I would give myself out from the way I see it was like this. Like looking back, it's like I had to give myself out every day to everyone else throughout the day, you know, doing just normal me activities, whether it was like a job or family things or hanging
Or
out with
chores,
my,
stuff
you know,
like that.
or chores, whatever, right? I had to I have to hand myself out. And then when everyone's taken care of, when everyone's needs are met, then it's me time. And usually that would start at like 11 o'clock at night. And at 11 o'clock at
man.
night
Ugh.
is when I would begin my animation, or I would begin my gaming, or my video editing, whatever my fixation of the time is. Usually we'd begin about 10, 11 o'clock at night. And then I would do that. I would stay up until 3, 4 in the morning, or until like my body physically tremors and I fall asleep. And I did that for decades. Well, over a decade. And
How
so
many
everyone's...
hours- No, go ahead.
How many hours?
How
I mean,
many hours of
I
sleep
feel like
did you
most
get?
people did... Oh, on average, probably 4.
Oh wow. Jesus.
Probably 4. So I was always very tired, but I was always my mental was still good and stable for the most part because I was happy that I got to have that time. You know, I was always willing to sacrifice my
Yeah.
physical tiredness, my physicality over my mental state. And my mental state was always only satiated by having that time to myself. Which there is a term for it. It's called sleep revenge, which I don't know if that accurately describes it, but that is what they call it. It's where you're essentially sacrificing sleep to get your day that you want out of it, because you feel as though you didn't get to fulfill any of the things you wanted to do during your day, so you take it up at night. And I'm sure that's going to resonate with at least some people here, because that is a common occurrence that I've heard. If you consider yourself a night owl, you're probably a sleep revenge artist as well.
Dang. I mean, I feel like that's just such a shame. Because to me, this might be doomer pilled, like on the AI Dojocast. But like at that point, I don't know if a relationship on my end would even be worth it. Because I already have really bad insomnia, and I tend to see the negative side of it pretty often, and I can't imagine myself. Yeah, let me go to sleep. Ironic. We're talking.
Yeah,
insomnia.
I can never sleep. All right, let me just click this button. All right, I'm sleeping.
I wish it
All right,
was
I'm
so
sleeping.
easy. No, I wish, this is getting a little off topic. I wish sleep was not necessary. I wish it was optional.
Dude,
Like, you could
me
sleep if you wanted
too,
to.
bro. Okay, I've said this. This is on the exact par with this, but I would always bring up when we're having this conversation. I'd be like, dude, that's what made me so jealous of vampires. And they said it was never the iteration of vampires that other people see, that they want the super strength, the ability to like fly or turn the bats. I'm like, I don't care about any of that shit. I just like the fact that they don't have to sleep. I think that's insane, dude. Just not having to sleep at all, and just to like
imagine how much you could get done.
That's what I would say, dude. I'm like, there's 2 me's. I could have my day twice. Do you have any idea what I could do?
Something is. Oh, I see it. Something is trying to kill me, and I need to kill it. It's gonna kill me. It's okay. It killed me.
Guy got drowned straight up.
It was much faster than I anticipated.
Can I collect your stuff? Where's it at?
No, I'm. It's right outside my house. I'm already here.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
I could save it.
You can see the many tridents that were riddled behind my house.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's okay. It's okay. No, but I don't know. It might be depressing, but like I almost feel like I'd be happier if I don't have a relationship, but there's still a part of me that wants one. I feel like I'd
Yeah.
have to be as obsessive over my partner as I am with my work.
I think you just have to find the right person that accepts you exactly as you are. I think the biggest mistake that everyone makes in relationships as a whole, and I'm not talking about just individuals, I'm talking about society, is they try to look for a certain kind of person that has certain kind of like almost like stats that they want, you know? They look the right way, they have
Yeah.
the right job, they do the right things, say the right things, family likes, all this shit. None of it matters. Literally none of those things matter. The only thing that matters at all is that they're quite literally like your best friend that you can spend all day with, every day with, and be completely and wholesomely, organically yourself with no restrictions whatsoever. That is the person that will that you can spend any time with doing anything, any activity, and whether you go through good or bad, it's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be as hard because you have someone there that's, you know, in it with you as a best friend and as someone who understands your faults and your issues, you know, and vice versa. And whether that is like understanding that you're going to be really into your stuff and maybe for 3 months, you're just completely locked into your work and you barely have time to devote to them, but they understand that. And they also have their own things that they have going on and they don't have to. And because they understand that about you, they don't hold like a grudge or feel like they're being left out or feeling like their needs aren't being met because you're not being around because they understand that about you. You know, there's going to be people out there that exist like that. And I felt that way before. If it wasn't for Lexi, like, I don't know that there could be anyone else that would accept me the way that I am, because I can't be something else. You know, that's the one thing that I've never been is anything but me, which is a good and a bad thing. You know, there's definitely negatives that come with just being myself. But I quite literally just don't know how to be not me. You know, and if you're allowed to freely be yourself like that, toxically be yourself, it can be liberating. You know. It unbinds you from the restraints of like what society needs from you, wants for you, expects from you, and I think it's probably part of what I'm able to keep my energy, even if things that are like not going right in my world, you know.
But so like, and say I want a relationship, but I feel like, but I'm being like as negative as I possibly can in this response. What if there's just not actually anyone for me? And I try to like find compromises.
No, there definitely will be, and I think the biggest mistake would be like trying to find it. I think that there will be someone for you, but they'll come to you when you least expect it, and it might not be a person that you're like. They could already like, as far as I know, they could already be in your life, and you wouldn't even know it.
Maybe.
You know, that's the thing is, like I said, is like sometimes a lot of the people that you find that are those love stories that are, we've been together for 60 years, they were like friends for the longest time, you know, and it wasn't even like on the menu or, you know, something they consider. But I'm just saying, like, and that's not necessarily the truth for you right now, but like, it might seem impossible right now, but the cool thing is you don't have to worry about it. Truly, if it's meant to happen, it will happen. And it'll happen on its own time. And there's no use in forcing it or like trying to like sprint towards it because you don't even know where you're going. You know, you're on a roadmap that has no stop points that are predetermined. So why are you trying to find those points right now? There's no hurry. You know, that's the way I see it.
I guess I'll see it when I believe it. I don't know.
That's a totally valid way to look at it. You know.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just being so damn negative though.
No, well, you know what's really weird, dude, is like I find that I usually enter into people's lives at their lowest or at a low point in their lives, and I usually provide some sort of service that helps them kind of pivot. And that service is just being around. I don't know what it is, dude, but like there's so many people that I've met or that have come into my life in various different ways, and they will have just something bad happen or something going on, and then we're hanging out and being around, and all of a sudden things just start like turning around and opportunities start showing up, and like from my family members to like random friends, and they're usually brought about through like random activities that I did. Like my buddy that I opened the card shop with, there's there was a card shop in town. I at this point, I just lost a 6-page contract. I was doing like freelance work on YouTube, right? Like trying to get my YouTube stuff going. I hadn't left my house in like a decade. Like you know the job, right? You wake up, you're animating, you're doing stuff, and then your hobbies are also at the computer. You go to bed, right? So like, if you could fast forward your life right now in 10 years and you don't change any of the details, could you see that being pretty easy to do, right? Like, that's kind of where I was, right? But something told me I need to go like check out this card place in town that had been there for like 20 years. I'd never once gone there, and I ended up meeting my buddy there, and we were like instant best friends. And we're like inseparable for like 4 or 5 years completely. And lo and behold, like he was in like a really bad place. I didn't know it at the time. But we ended up just collaborating, working together, and having a lot of fun, and buying and selling card collections. And over time, like all of a sudden he pivots and he starts where he's writing comics again, and his comics start taking off and like becoming movies and like doing Kickstarters over like $50,000 or $60,000. In like a day or two, like just popping off like crazy.
Wait, who is this? Is it a name anyone would recognize?
I would doubt it. It's indie comic developer. His name's Garrett Gunn. He's done a lot of different comics now that are wildly successful. But I guess it's just like one example. It's like I feel like my purpose of being is to put myself out there where I feel like I'm supposed to be. I don't know whether that's going to be or why, but I have a positive impact on people, and I can't explain anything else other than that. I have a positive impact on people just being, and so I try to put myself out there when I can, wherever feels right, and I always feel like the stick figure community has always been a good place for me. It's got the right people, because my inside, not really. Not superstitious, no. But I'm also toxically capable of being completely isolated. Every fiber of my being would be completely okay with just being almost entirely isolated. I'm very much so a hermit. Like I'm sure you could resonate with that. Like if you have internet access, food, you could pretty much just like keep your mind busy, no problem, right?
Oh, yeah. I spend 99% of my life right now in my office.
Exactly. So you totally get it, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm constantly reminded of, like, the power that I can have in helping people for the better just by, like, just kind of just being around, So I feel like I'm obligated that when it feels right, at least, to just be around. Is that dumb?
No, I think it's totally fair.
I don't know what it is. I'm not trying to do it. I don't have like lessons for people. I don't have like, I feel like I don't have anything of value to provide, but like for some reason it helps. It does something sometimes, and if I just feel that that's true, maybe it's all coincidence. But even if I feel that that's true, and it is, then why wouldn't I? But just being around, I can help make people's lives better. I should probably be around sometimes, and that's what keeps me coming back to different like groups and communities and stuff like that. It's like I'm like, all right, do I feel like I have the social battery to do this? Does this feel right? And if it does, then I just kind of like peek in and say what's up, and see if there's like a place for me to be.
Wow. Why did you stop streaming?
I stopped streaming because I was really starting to doubt my animation abilities. I was starting to doubt my ability to execute animations in like a reasonable time. And with that, I kind of just got really down on myself. Like I couldn't reach that level of fuel that keeps me going and keeps me excited. And I find that if I try to fight it uphill, right, like just like grind through it, then I end up pushing myself further away. And so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna take a step back, let my batteries rejuvenate on this, and just slowly collect the inspiration on what I want to do, because I have this whole creative universe that I want to play with, right? Yeah. And I don't have any plans of setting that down at all. It's still swimming in my mind, but I guess I'm just waiting for the right for my mental to be in the right state for me to like present myself again, you know,
Right.
to put myself back out there. Because a lot of the times, like, I'm not always like this. I have a lot of bad days, you know, and I feel like I don't like sharing myself with the world when I'm down, because I don't like putting out like the negative energies out there. And I feel like people have a certain level of expectation of how I'm going to act or be. And if I'm not meeting that, then that's going to kind of like put them down, you know? And so I guess I just don't want to disappoint people. And I'm not always in the position to, I'm not acting, but I'm not always in the position to be myself. That's what it's more so, you know, because I'm my passive is positive. Like I'm like toxically optimistic. So if I feel like I'm not in a good mental space, I kind of just disappear. And I've been trying to work on that because I could so easily, like I said, as you know, like having that same kind of ingredients, like it'd be really easy to just like disconnect from everything, you know, and just hermit into your little zone and just do your thing. So I like to keep active with Dojocast, you know.
Well, it's like you knew what I was about to ask.
Oh, really?
Have you ever felt the same about Dojocast? Like you need to kind of
that I would
break from it?
No. I feel like that's one of my constants. It's one of the things that keeps me tethered against my will.
Okay.
Let me explain though. Because I know how easy it is for me to just like hermit up and disappear, right? And so I know that about myself, and I know I have to resist that urge to just do that because that's my default setting. And I think that Dojocast helps keep me tethered in a regular, consistent way, regardless of where I'm at in my mental state, in a way that not only keeps me here and around in a healthy way, but also still allows me to stay mentally present in the creative space. You know, so I think it's an invaluable positive thing for me that at the bare minimum I need to be able to at least have that, because right now I don't really have anything else going on. I'm at home, I'm gardening. I was doing a lot of like cooking and baking and stuff, but then as you know, like the mouse in the house situation, and then after the mouse in the house situation, it's so awful. I'm trying to get big things back on track for that, but it's still, you know, like I can't afford a new stove, like so a lot of these things are just slower, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't. The only thing I have going on is Dojocast. That's it. That's my one thing I'm doing per week outside of like my normal, you know. I take care of everyone in my house. Like I have a dog, 2 cats, guinea pigs, chickens. Every single day I feed everybody. I get everyone water. That includes all the humans in the building too, because my wife works from home. I also teach Hudson, so I teach him throughout the day. But I feed everybody, you know, and I get everyone treats and stuff. And so I'm kept busy or active by those things also. But as far as like my own personal stuff I have going on, it's basically just Dojocast, man.
Sorry, do you homeschool your son? Is that what you teach? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. We're jumping into so many different kinds of topics. I need to know why. I've known people who are homeschooled, but I was never homeschooled, so I'm curious.
Yeah, so I wasn't homeschooled either, and it wasn't necessarily early by design. But Hudson started school in 2020 or 2019, I guess.
Oh my god!
And so that's when he was in kindergarten, and so COVID hit when he was halfway through his kindergarten year, and as you know, all the schools shut down, yada yada.
No,
every kid had to go on independent study. And a lot of kids were just left to their own devices to figure it out, and that's why so many kids got so behind. And I think a lot of it had to do with the simple fact that parents didn't understand that they needed to make up the difference. You know, like you couldn't just leave I'll give you a really specific example. This actually happened. A lot of the mindset of parenting and as far as schooling goes was, you know, and this goes back, I don't know, decades, it's not really your job to do the teaching and schooling. You just drop your kids off at school, they go to school, and then they come home and do their homework. Maybe you help them with homework, but that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
Well, when COVID hit, I remember Hudson was in his first grade class, and they had their little Zoom calls set up, right? So they had to like check in on Zoom. A lot of these teachers didn't even know how to use Zoom or cameras or anything, right?
Oh yeah, don't even get me started.
Right, it was pretty bad, right? So, but some of these parents, one specifically, genuinely thought it still worked the same way. She quite literally left her first grader in front of her laptop in their home because she was that was her doing her schooling, right? Was like opening up the laptop and the teacher was there on the screen, right? This parent literally left their child, their first grader, at home by themselves in front of a laptop because she thought that that's what school was now.
Oh, what?
So the teacher was like, "Honey, what are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, well, my mommy left for work." And the teacher's like, yeah. I mean, that's an extreme case of like people not understanding that you need to like to step up, but I just understood that I had to step up. You know, I made a little like classroom for Hudson at my store, which I shut down at the time, so it was closed to the public. But I like turned
that's so cute.
Yeah, he had his own little corner with like it had like the kindergartner wallpaper, you know, that you have up and all the ABCs and numbers and calendar, all the stuff. So we made it very much so feel like a classroom for him. And once things started to get normal again, he would go for a couple months, and then it would get bad, and then they would close the schools down, right? And then it would go back again. And after doing that back and forth, I was just like, we're just gonna keep him on independent study until this like really clears up, right? And so like we went through 3rd and 4th grade, all the way through. Like I'm independent homeschooling him and teaching him, not just homeschooling, because there's actually two different things. There's homeschooling and independent study, and those are actually different. Homeschooling is like the school sends you packets of homework to do essentially, and you just do them. Independent study is like the school collaborates with you, and you the parent are the teacher. And so we've been doing independent study. So I'm actually like teaching him lesson plans, going through the book with him, even creating lessons plans along with what the teachers are providing us for requirements, right? And I did that all the way through 5th grade, and he did really well. He was up there with his scores. He reads better than everyone in his classroom, in his class level. So he's really the system for him works really well. The biggest thing for us is that we wanted to make sure he had like the social aspect of being and going to school, because it's new for both of me and my wife too, because we both went to normal public school. We didn't do homeschooling, right? So this was never in the books,
right.
But at this point it was more normal think about it. Going to school in a public school in a at school setting was now foreign to him. So since kindergarten through 5th grade or up to 5th grade, he'd been independent study, right? So that was more normal than going to in person. And when he went to in person, everyone loved him. We loved the social act. He made friends there. But I really just gave it to him. I was like, is this something you want to continue? And he was like, yeah, I don't hate it, but he's like, he was kind of indifferent, right? But then one day I realized, he's getting to that age, I need to have the talk with him about school shootings, and because they've been really ramping up in the last few years. I was sitting there and I was trying to think about how I go about it. And I'm like, you know what? This is fucking crazy. I don't care what the rest of the world wants. I should not be having to have this genuine, serious discussion to him about how people could come to his school and kill him, and it could be his classmates. So, independent study has worked really well for him this whole time. I'm still doing well as a teacher. If he's scoring well, and he enjoys it, right? He's keeping up. He's not getting left behind. Then I must be doing something right. I've been doing it all these years. I'll just keep doing it, because I can't have the discussion with him about how kids are being murdered in their schools and how his school could very well be the next school. And they'd be like, I'll pick you up at 3. Have a great day,
How old was he when you were about to have that conversation?
That was last year, so he was 10.
Oh my God, 10 years old, and you're already having to talk to your son about possibility of death.
And he went to a school that was actually, the funny thing is the school was attached to my old store, because I had like a business plaza where it's like one long building and it's a bunch of like businesses chopped in them. At the other end of the plaza where my store was the school. It's like an independent study hybrid school where they have in person. It's for like unique learning, like there's kids who are first graders that read at a high school level that are there. So that kid can't be in a regular public school, right? And there's also high schoolers that read at a first grade level that are there. Those kids aren't going to do well. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a small school. Yeah, it's a small school for unique education programs, essentially. But it's still not. It's not like if you went there, you would think, oh, this looks just like a regular school.
Yeah, a school's a school.
Yeah. So, but the funny thing is before it was literally like I just walk 30 feet and go to the school, drop them off, and can walk 30 feet and come back. Then when I had to close the store, now I have to drive the 20 minutes to go there.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the store there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we were doing for in person, and that also just sucked. That was just not realistic. When again, he could just do it all from home, we love that we're all home. We really enjoy each other's company in our little house
great.
here, where we have, this is our little safe space for all of us.
Hell yeah. Wow, we've talked about how do we get from Dojocast to school shootings?
Me, dude.
No, I was almost into school shooting actually. It's really sad that it's like it was just such a common thing that when it had happened and I had heard of, oh hi there, where did you come from?
I'm making a sandcastle. I really haven't done anything.
Oh wait, is that you over there?
Little tiny
sandcastle.
I made a sandcastle.
Oh my god! Well, that is unique.
It's nighttime.
Yeah. I'm heading to my bed. No, but I was almost in a school shooting. But I didn't really care. So what had happened? This was my freshman year of high school, and I mean, at this point, I was starting to really hate and despise school. I haven't really been a big fan of it. I've also been pretty vocal about that, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But I guess it kind of just helped my opinion of how much school sucked and how much I didn't like going there. I feel like homeschooling might have helped because also the environment of a public school or private school. It's just it works for a specific kind of person. And I was diagnosed with autism at a really young age, so they had to make like a lot of special requirements for me, and not all the teachers were able to do what were needed because they didn't believe in it and yada yada. It was miserable. But as for the school shooting, it was my freshman year of high school. And I guess one kid posted on Instagram that he was going to shoot up the school, and as to why you would post that, that seems stupid, but they did. But they had this little thing on the back of your school ID. It was like a safety line, and I guess one of the other students saw it, called the safety line, and then they actually caught him before he was entering our high school that morning. Close to finals, so like the year was almost over.
Oh
wow! And they caught him with a duffel bag full of guns.
Oh wow!
And for the last 2 weeks of that school year, I don't think I've ever seen more police just acting as security. It was wild. But like the saddest thing is that it didn't surprise me. It was just like, yep, this is just kind of another day at school. Just there's police here now.
Right, and that shouldn't be normal.
No,
right, and it shouldn't be normalized. And that's what I realized when I'm like trying to have this conversation about him is like I'm part of the problem when I'm kind of normalizing it for him. Like this is just how it should be. This is just how it is. Yeah, and I just disagree. Like since I'm in a position, and I've said this to other people before, like not every parent. I had to explain this to him too. I'm like, not every parent has the luxury to do this. As much as they can understand this exactly as I do right now, they unfortunately don't have a choice, and their kid has to go to school just the same. And I'm like, 100%. Fortunately enough for you is like, we're in a position where I can make this choice, and I just don't. I think it's insane, right? Like, and I've been ridiculed for it, at least like not publicly, but like I know that people like within my family or at least been like, because it's not a normal thing. Like homeschooling, especially like when growing up in my area,
definitely not.
As a kid, it was like, what's wrong with your kid then? Why is he homeschooled? Is he like stupid? Like what's wrong with it? Like it's a foreign concept that you could like there isn't a problem if you're homeschooled, you know? Like it's almost like base level. It's like, okay, well then what's their actual issue? Because they can't be that bad where they can't go to normal school. And to me, it's the other way around. Is that I think that the normal schools are awful. I think that the systems are designed not to make educated peoples. They're designed to either categorize you for prison or for a worker bee to be inducted into servitude. It has nothing to. It has very little to do about teaching you.
Exactly.
Has very, very little. It's very, 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 very little to do with actually educating you, and more to either well, part of it is propagandize you into believing a certain way or acting a certain way, and then also getting you accustomed to doing something for somebody else that is an authority figure over you for 9 to 10 hours a day. And then beyond that, the extracurricular activity of having homework is to showcase that you need to work extra or overtime without reward. And I think that a lot of the nonsensical things that you learn is just to fill time, because the workforce that currently exists that's having those babies needs a place for them to go while they're still working their job, right? So I just disagree a lot with what the curriculum is, how it's set up, and how blatantly propagandized it is a lot of times. I remember Hudson's first week of first grade, when they finally like kind of got things dialed in. The first month was rigorous, and I'm talking rigorous, like USA propaganda, like learning everything about how great like the kids can't even read yet, right? And they're like, you need to pledge allegiance twice a day. You need to here's all these clearly made up bullshit stories about George Washington. Here's how each and every single founding father was a really great dude and definitely not a slave owner. Like just all these things that didn't make sense, that if you're trying to actually teach a young mind that just gained consciousness like 45 minutes ago because they're 5, how to like critically think or have the foundations for reading or writing or math, that you wouldn't probably spend the first month being like, don't forget you serve the United States and you agree with everything they say, do, and will ever do, right?
It almost sounds like what's supposed to be the opposite of what our country stands for.
You would think so, right? But it's like, it's perfect, because if you say that that's the opposite, but then you ingrain these ideals from the beginning of consciousness, and I think that's why schooling starts at age 5, and why they're so like immediately dumping it on you, because they know your brain develops and pretty much turns to stone unironically by like age like 15 or something. Like you pretty much are who you're going to be between the ages of 5 and 15. You develop all of the habits and mannerisms, and you don't have all the details, and you're going to change and grow as a person, but like a lot of your ideals in the core of who you are kind of will at least be locked in for your young teens into through your 20s. And there's other systems in play to kind of farm that out of you too. But I'm not trying to be radical, but but anyway, but it's still, like I said, the whole point is like homeschooling was seen as a radical point, and my point is if I'm looking at this from an objective standpoint, I feel like the world is incredibly radical and incredibly like people normalize things that should not be normalized, and the only way that you can fight back against that normalization is to take radical stance against it. Otherwise, school shootings just happen, and people go, "That sucks."
Yeah,
I'll pick you up at 3, right? And that's what I was about to do, and I was like, "No, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that." I still had the discussion with him, and I was very clear and vivid about the details as to why, and told him that's why I'm making the choice that we're making, and I still gave him the option of like, look, this is why I think this is best, but I want your input, because that's the other thing I think that a lot of people don't realize when raising a child is that they're humans. They're people. You don't have ownership of them. They are a person. Speak to them like a human person, and you'll be surprised how much input that they can have about the life that they're currently living and the life that they would wish to live if you just kind of like treated them like not property. I think a lot of people treat their kids like property, like in the sense that like you're gonna do what I say, when I say it, how I say it. And can you imagine if someone else at your job treated you like this, how immediately you would punch them? They're a real person. They're not objects. They're gonna have bad days too. Like if they're not listening to you and they're having a hard time. Have you ever had a hard time? You've ever had a day where you didn't want to do what you boss said?
Exactly like that on the next Dojocast.
Hey, buddy. You want to shut the fuck up and listen to what we're going to say? Okay.
Everything I have to say is more important than anything you have going on, so listen up.
I'm going to invalidate all of your feelings immediately.
My God. What other careers did you have?
Okay, so
a card. So if I can remember right, of all the ones that I know, you owned a card shop or a yeah, you had that. You worked for Crazy J for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Was Fluid Anims a revenue point? Were you able to make a living off of that ever, or is that more of a
Yeah.
hobby?
No, it was a revenue point. So
Oh, wow.
I actually started taking it more seriously, like what, 15, 16 years old. And by I think 21 or 22, I quit. I stopped working as a barista. So I actually worked
Oh, you're a
at two different
barista.
coffee shops. Yeah, I made coffee for like 8 or 9 years, working at two different coffee shops. It's actually where the majority of a lot of Fluid Anim's like big ideas came from. Is when it was like slow at the coffee shop. I just opened up my laptop and I just would write, or I would just doodle and just draw and write down ideas. I have a whole dresser full of papers to me, just like scribbling things with coffee stains all over on paper of just like ideas I had. But eventually, Fluid Items grew to where it was at least enough to afford to consider it as a job. Like I was never like rolling in the dough, but it was like, okay, makes at least what I make working full time at the coffee shop, right? So I'm like,
Right.
I would rather do this in the coffee shop. I need to devote more time to this. And it was scaling up. Like the ad revenue was getting a little bit better, but it was right around the time when I realized like, oh, I'm losing all these animators. It's not going to make it fast enough, and I need to lock them in. And that's kind of what brought about the Crazy J partnership. I was like, I don't want to lose Turquoise and Hyun and Mikul to life. I want them to. I need them to understand that they could do this as a job and to do it. And so I was like, I just saw that as an opportunity to combine forces. Like, okay, I don't have money. He has money, and a place where the Google searches go when you type stick figure. So I can work something out with them, and opportunities will present themselves. And it just didn't work out.
Damn.
That was the idea, though. But that's why I made it, because I was like, I'm not making money fast enough. I'm gonna lose everyone.
Dang. And so that kind of makes me think, like, if we could build our community in such a way that we could prove to people that they can make a living as stick figure animators, then maybe people would stop leaving. But I don't know. That feels so weird in a way.
Well, you have to, but it's already happening, right? Like, I mean, think about how many people Alan employs. You know.
Well, yeah, but that's only one
it'd
guy.
Be at McDonald's or somewhere, you know. But he's one guy, but he's also a corporation, and you know, if that's a good start. You know, that's a good start to prove the point. You know, because think back to when I was doing it, there was no example. There was not a single example I could point to and be like, yeah, you can make money from doing stick figures because look at this person. You know, and that's what everyone's, all the adults around me, because they never understood what I was doing. They just like, Travis is Travis, and he does wild and crazy stuff, and somehow it just works out. But there's no way this could work out, and this is like an important adult thing, so we got to make sure to let him know. Like, no one was anti-supportive of me in the stance of like trying to force me to not do something, but they were like, "Look, man, like you need to, you got to start figuring something out. You can't be devoting your time to this because and I don't blame them. There's no living example of how you could actually do this as a job, you know." So at least that does exist, you know. I think that's huge, and that's why I think it's the beginning of this, because the internet as a whole, as an industry, as a place where you can earn money, is so incredibly young. It's barely considered a fetus, in my mind. You know, you go back 20 years, and the internet is a tiny place, and there's so few people on it. Considering, you know what I mean, compared to
the idea of an influencer is still so new.
Yeah, the idea, yeah, exactly. The idea of an influencer is still, even though people make millions of dollars, is still kind of considered a joke. Even though there's like a lot of really prominent ones that are, you know, you could argue that a lot of influencers today are even larger than most celebrities.
Oh yeah,
Mr. B, right? Sorry. But even still, people look at it and be like, no, you can't be an influencer. Like that's not a real job. Still, but that's why I think it's in its infancy. If you scale, we at least have Alan, right, to point to. For the average other person to be like, look, here's somebody who's really grossly successful at this thing and provides a lot of value to the world. And then other people can go, okay, yeah, no, I can see that. And, you know, that's so big. That's so big.
Oh, yeah.
It's just in its early infancy.
Do you still feel like this community is invalidated just because we do stick figure animation? Like, do you think people see us as a joke?
No. Having lived in a time where it was definitely invalidated and people only pointed and laughed for the longest time as being like, this is not real. Like, you're a joke that you're doing this. It is definitely considered valid now, especially with things like short form content, showcasing it to people on their phones and be like, oh my God, I've seen that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you are a stick figure animator, I think it, even more so over time and as time goes on, it's going to be less and less and less and less and less and less and less ridiculed. And I think it's already at a point where it's valid.
Huh. I find that interesting because I was talking about that a lot in my last episode. Or not I guess it was 2 episodes now. Anyway, it feels like even still today, people don't take stick figures that seriously. Even if it's not as bad as it used to be, it still feels like most people see it as a joke. Like whenever I kind of hate that my family knows what I do now. Because every time that we have a family get together, I have to like convince them that like what I'm doing is real. Like I make a living wage, I'm full time, but then they just get so caught up on the stick figure side of things. Like my uncle especially, and I don't blame them for it at all. It is new. It's absurd.
I get their position. I get their
like,
position.
It still just feels like, come on, like
The only way that you could showcase it to somebody and show them in a way that they're going to understand is when you show them, at least you have this, you could show them the views. People understand view, even if they're normies to the internet, they don't understand how an influencer's a job or animation could be a job. They at least fundamentally understand that Mr. Beast has a lot of subscribers and subscribers like a big thing, right? And so when you can point to like, you're like, I made this animation and it has 500 million views, and they go, what? At least that's, you take out the stick figure part of it, that doesn't matter. They have 500 million views on something, the people that aren't ever they're never really gonna get it, but they will understand that, and that's the simplistic form of it. It is if you can consistently showcase that your thing that you're doing is getting views, it doesn't really matter, because you're going to convince those people that don't get it immediately, right? So. Yeah. Like they don't like think about and there's so many better examples of something that's even crazier, right? Like my favorite thing to point to is like the most followed TikToker on TikTok is a guy that doesn't say anything and he just shrugs, Kami Labe, right?
Oh yeah.
Right? Like if you want to be critical on this, this isn't dogging on him. I'm looking at it from a normie perspective of like not getting something, right? So you could, if you're looking through that same lens and you look at his content and he just takes a viral video and then he just like adds a little bit at the end and like puts his hands up. Now take a look at that in a vacuum versus someone who makes a fully creative stick figure animation, right? If you're having the same normie person look at those two things, they would go, okay, well I can see how you put a lot of effort into this, even if they don't understand either one, right? I can see you put a lot of effort into this, and both of them, let's say, have 500 million views. They go, okay, I get it. Like, I get it that it doesn't really matter, but the context, as long as people are watching it, at least the world graduated to that point. I get it. I may not understand it, but it's getting a lot of views, and that I understand. Because views somehow means money, Because then there's the whole aspect of like, well, how is it making money? And then that's a totally different thing you have to describe to them, because they never understand that part. But and I've had to describe that for a number of clients that want to do whatever it is that I'm doing, whether it was like the Pokemon stuff or animation or YouTube videos and stuff like that. They're like, well, how does this turn into money? And it's like, okay, well, and then you go through all the different avenues of how it can turn into money. I just dislike money. I think money is the ruins. I think money. Oh, I'm gonna die too.
Oh no! Oh.
I got one punched, dude.
Dang.
I think money poops on a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
Whether you're hired to do a commission piece, that's one way because you have to. You're kind of just like forced to create something. You may not be wanting to create something, or maybe you can't come up with the ideas for how they want it to be, or whatever. Money isn't the best motivator when it comes to at least stick figure animation from my experience. It's somewhat of a motivator, but it's not like many other things where it's just like a guaranteed motivator, because like there's so many jobs where someone's like, it pays this much, and they're like, okay, I'll devote my entire life to that, even though I'm gonna hate all of the time doing it because that's a lot of money. Versus, I feel like a stick figure animator is already fundamentally doing this because they love it, and that's usually more valuable to them than whatever the dollar amount is. To like forcibly do it a different way or be forced to do it.
So then how, let's talk about like gravity, right? In that case, because I feel like I need to be able to pay people in order for
for sure
to work out. Do you think, well, like, let's say that like we get rid of money, or like in the hypothetical AI future where everything is already being done for us and we can all just live and
do what we want to do,
what we want. How would then people, like, how would animation studios convince others to work on other projects?
I think it would be a lot more simple than people realize. Let me paint you a different picture, right? Because you're looking from a standpoint of like, I'm hiring you to do a job, and the reason why you're doing the job is because I'm going to pay you.
Stop
right?
talking. I have a present.
Oh!
Just for you.
Oh, I like that. Yum!
Yes. Oh, very good. Do you like it? Do you like it?
I love damage over
time. I made it just for you.
That was nice. I love damage over time. It's my favorite thing.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I think you'd be surprised because you wouldn't be luring in the people who need money. You'd be luring in people who are drawn to your specific project. And there's a distinct, profound difference. Because there is somebody who might be animation talented and also simultaneously need money, and you become an avenue for them to get that done. They may not be having the best time. They may not be fully invested in your project, but they have the skills and talents and 8 hours a day to devote to you for pay for an exchange of that. But if you strip that away, that person may not be there because the only reason why they were there was because they needed the money from you to do that thing, right? But you may also then find equally talented people that would love to dedicate their time because they love your project. And they, in turn, want to help you build your vision because they're equally as excited to do that with you. You know, if you look at so many other popular IPs for various different, whatever, let's say One Piece. Let's say you're a crazy One Piece fan and you became an animator because you love One Piece so much, right? And you got to the level where you can animate at One Piece level. And then the creator came to you and said, we would love for you to work on One Piece with us for our project. Become part of the One Piece world with us and help build the next episode. You might, and again, you have to strip all of your financial worries away because that's already taken care of now. So all you're thinking of is like, oh my God, this is so awesome. I now get to like build the thing that made me want to become an animator in the first place, that I would be head over heels to just do that. And now you can just do that and you can share in part of the joy of creating that thing. It's what we do now, with like when you do a collab and we're making a collaborative piece, I know it's not a perfect example because a collab is open. Like you could do whatever you want, right? Here's some light constraints, but do whatever you want, right? But it's still people spending their time to help create in this thing that you kind of curated or inspired them to become a part of. In no other profession or job would you have that normally. Like no one like walks by a construction site and is like, yo, you guys need an excavator? I could dig some holes for a month. You know what I mean? Like I would love to just like freelance. Can I collab with you and dig a hole over here? Like that would never happen, right? In that world, in that way. But I think that you would still end up finding that there's people that would love or do anything just to be in your group and work with you on that thing.
That's a good point. I have nothing else to say. I can't argue with that.
Because again, the hardest thing about that is you have to strip away all of the reasons why you would need a quote-unquote job. In this theoretical world, you don't need money. It's taken care of. You have access to food, shelter, water, health, car, all of the fun things you might possibly want. All of those things are taken care of. The only thing you have to concern yourself with is like, what can I do today that would bring me the most joy? And then here is your hero coming to you and saying, I would love for your talents, exactly as you are, how you are, to be part of my team making the thing that you would love to work on. In no universe can I imagine that person be like, nah, pass. Hate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can see that. Oh, that's how I do it.
It's cozy in here.
It is. Thank you.
There's a dangerous guy out there beating me up, dude.
Just make a new one. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to learn things that I don't usually do in Minecraft throughout this series.
Oh,
like I have never experimented with brewing. Like I've dabbled in it, but I've never sat down and really experimented with brewing because it felt like too much. And I really want to spend time in this world to learn everything Minecraft has to offer.
Oh, dude, I've done it all.
And same thing with like proper repairing of tools and stuff. Like all the stuff that you can do with an anvil. I've learned like enchantment books recently, and I only got into enchanting like maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
What, dude? Yeah. Have you ever had an elytra? Have you ever flown around with an elytra?
I have. I've never actually gotten one. I usually wait for my friends to get me one.
Oh, dude, I do the whole
nine.
But I want
to earn one. I want to earn one. I want to earn mine. I want to eat the
it is so
Ender
fun.
Dragon on my own. I want to do so many things.
It is exhilarating if you do it right and you do it slow. You know, and you kind of just like adventure and explore and experience it like that. It is magical.
How long has this recording been going? Oh, we already.
I don't know, man.
A bit.
I could talk forever.
Hell yeah.
Especially when it's like I don't have to talk about any one specific thing. You know.
Oh yeah.
I could just babble on forever about anything.
Absolutely. I'm gonna make diamond armor. Screw it. I'll be a little wasteful. Why not? How long do you think Dojocast will go on for?
I don't know. I have a really hard time ending things. You know, like when something should come to a close or come to an end.
Yeah.
And that's because I live in the moment, you know? And if you live in the moment, you really don't like write down when something ends. I've never been good at that. So I really can't even like any number of episodes I would say is just kind of like made up, and any feasible end isn't something that's visual in my mind, you know? I think it would come down to when the components are none of us want to do it anymore, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Because you can't look at it from the standpoint of like, oh, well, it'll end when it stops making money. Well, it doesn't make money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
no,
like that's not why we're doing it. Right? That's not why we're doing it. It'll stop when it stops getting views. We'll never really got like views from the standpoint of like, you know, oh, this video has 500,000 views. We're killing it. You know, like it's not about that either. So like all the core components of why you would stop doing something online aren't really at play here. You know, the only thing that's at play is like, do we enjoy doing it? And is it something that people feel has value? Does it make other people happy? And as long as it's still doing that, I don't know. When would you say with that in mind, when you think the end of it is?
I don't know. I mean, I maybe it's just the nature of art, but I feel like all art has to end eventually. Otherwise, it loses meaning over time. So then, to me, the question becomes like, you know, when does it end? It's not a matter of like, does it need to end? It's when it needs to end. Right. When does the last season of the show? Because you have to wrap it up. But then it also in that same vein though, usually art has a beginning, middle, and end, and we still don't know where we're at. Are we at the beginning? Are we at the middle? Did the end already happen and we're just dragging it on? You know, because like, how do you? It's already a limitless concept, you know. At least in my mind, because it's really at the end of the day, whether we have a subject or something to talk about or a guest on, it's just us hanging out, right? Yeah. So it's like, again, I think it just comes down to like when it's like we all realize it'll all happen kind of at the same time. We're all just like sit there and be like, why are we doing this? You know what I mean? Like, no one's watching. We don't want to be here.
why are we doing this? I think that's when it would end, to be honest, because I don't think there's any way we would like schedule an ending. Like, episode 233 is going to be the end because it's the season finale and Hyun is pregnant with Stone.
What?
You know what I mean? Like some cliffhanger event, you know?
Yeah.
There's no real like epic ending point to it that you could have, you know, no cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sorry, you got me really caught off guard with that.
That's the first thing I could think of. Is that a problem?
No.
As I put the mic in your mouth, explain to me that's a problem.
Of course not.
I'm going. Don't impale me. Just let me go home.
Oh boy.
I have a bully.
Good luck.
A bully. I'm terraforming the sand over there.
Good
This guy keeps
luck.
bullying me.
What made you? So when you came back to the community, what made you want to do Dojocast? Because that was something that I had come to Hyun to revive, and then I just felt bad asking for his time for something that I couldn't tell if he actually wanted to do or not. And then we did like 2 episodes months between each other, and then you come back, and one of the first things Hyun tells me as soon as you come back is like, Stone wants to do Dojocast weekly, if that's all right. So what was the what made you think Dojocast needed to be a thing?
I actually thought about it for a really long time. I actually thought about coming back for a really long time as a whole, and I think I have to back up to that to start. I thought about that if we're coming back for a long time, and once I'd finally the last straw was seeing House's animation and seeing my old animation from when I was like a teenager in that, and I was like, okay, I'm here. Like that's the universe screaming at me. My gut is right. Like I do want to come back. The stars have aligned. I can do this, right? And that's when I reached out to Hyun. I was like, hey, I've been thinking about this for a while. I've been, for the last couple weeks, I've been animating every day just to see if this could happen before I even said anything. But I think I'm like back. And I told him, I'm like, I don't need to have like an official position anywhere. I don't want to be like, you don't have to like cater anything to me. I don't need to have a job somewhere or, be in a position anywhere on the website. I'll just be around, because I was like, and also like, I don't want to step on anyone's toes that have been here for a long time, and the vast majority of these users aren't going to have any idea who I am, and it's not going to even matter if they do know who I am. Like, it's not a big, like, it doesn't mean anything, right? And he was like, no, like, I'll involve you with, like, whatever. If you have any ideas or anything, he was completely open to anything, right? Yeah. And I was trying to keep myself away from any kind of, like, important position of, like, power or influence, because I really just wanted to just kind of casually come back as, like, a user. Because I just didn't know where I belonged, and so I didn't want people to like freak out. Well, I didn't want people to freak out because I'm like,
no, I get it.
Yeah, I feel like, again, I have chronic unimportant syndrome, and so when people around me were like nervous to talk to me, I didn't know what to do with that or how to like, I couldn't fathom it, right? It didn't make any sense to me, and so I didn't want to like. Then also put myself like as the leader of something and people like, oh, who is this guy? And half the people be like, you don't know who that is? And the other half be like, why would that matter? I don't know who that is, right? And so when I saw the Dojocast, I saw that as like a really comfortable way to do something with you guys that doesn't step on anyone's toes, that might have been working to be a mod for a really long time or trying to get in a position for whatever, right? It's some important role in the website. I didn't want to step on anyone's toes. So, but I still wanted to like kind of be involved with you guys about something. And so I saw that as like a kind of like a blank slate. And I spent a lot of time thinking about how I can make it work and in the sense of like longevity, like how can I make sure this doesn't go away very quickly? And so my biggest emphasis was always like, let's make sure to keep it really light, right? Like make the concept really simple, keep it really light, and not like weigh ourselves down with it being perfect or having, whatever, right? Try to make it light. And,
right.
And that's when I was like, okay, I think it can be done. I think we could definitely like pull this off. And I would feel good about it because I would feel like I didn't understand everything. So I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to step on anyone's toes or, put myself above other people, and I felt this was like a nice, easy, comfortable, low stress way to just like be there, just be around, hang out, because I didn't know how to like interact, if that makes any sense.
Interesting. How much? This is. I'm gonna be a little selfish in asking these, but how much did you know about me before doing Dojocast?
I knew that you were an important part of the community in the sense that like
Doll.
you were in a lot of the like I would say like community cultural norms, right? Like if there was a post or something that was made, usually your name wasn't too far away from something to do with it, whether it was like you were mentioned, it was something you were doing with it, or you were commenting or replying or whatever. Like you could tell, I could tell that wherever I was going with Hyun's Dojo, your name wasn't going to be far away from it. So even if I didn't know you specifically, I'd seen your face, I'd seen your name. I was aware of who you were, right? And then also like I got to know you a little bit better and kind of like verify those thoughts that I had on AnimeCast, right? We were kind of like organizing AnimeCast and putting it
I
together.
always forget
And so
that
was
happened.
right, and it was ironic that it was me, Hyun, and you on that episode.
I
right?
know. It's like prototype Dojocast in a crazy
It was literally
way.
prototype Dojocast, and so I knew you from that as well, right? So like I kind of knew that you were like the kind of like the who's who of the Hyun's Dojo because everyone will know in the community at the very least will know who you are because of your like direct involvement in things. Like you were more of a celebrity to me than I definitely was, and vice versa.
Wow.
Because I saw you as a figurehead of like someone who is really significant within the community um, because you're there. You're a part of all of the things that matter to the people that are there. That's the difference, There's animators that are truly insane animators that are disappear for 8 months and then they drop some like god masterpiece. And you're like, oh my, and then people ogle over it. But I don't think those people are as critical to the community aspect as there are more so people like you that are like just in the Discord calls, communicating with people, collaborating with people, networking with people, connecting with people, just being around. Like everything I've ever built, it's just really the core of it is just I was just there. I know that sounds so crazy, but like how I got my coffee job, I just hung out at that coffee shop until I got a job there because the people liked me being around so much that they're like, just put an application, we're gonna hire you. Okay, like I like being here. Fluid Anims. I literally almost single-handedly put Fluid Anims together after I was gone and came back, one person at a time, by reaching out to them, connecting with them on a personal level, just getting to know them, and then not forcing them to be like, you have to go over here, but then just showing them what I'm doing excitedly, like I always had done, and then just being there. Just interacting with people, talking with people. I remember the reason why the forums did well is because I read and commented on every single post on the forum until I couldn't do it anymore. Early on, it was really easy because there's, like 30 people.
Yeah.
But I read and commented every single post. And I did that for years. And that's why I think you hear like people will say like, oh, Stone talked to me about this one day, about this one thing one time, and a lot of the times I can't remember specifically what they're talking about, but that's why I think those stories come up is because I just was there. I was always there, and I think that's the most important part about a community is that you have people that are just there.
That's wild. It kind of takes me back to when dojo partners were a thing. Are you familiar with that?
Vaguely, maybe?
Okay, a dojo partner was a role that was made for the original dojo website. That was like it was like a special rank that you would get if you were like a well-known member in the community. And I remember whenever someone would get the partner role, their profile wall would just be flooded with people congratulating them. And then something interesting happened with mine. It definitely had a lot of people congratulating me. But then there was this one comment in particular that stuck with me because it really did kind of explain almost exactly that. Like, you could have a good animator, but not really be a part of the community. And this person, I think what they had said was, you proved that you don't need to be a good animator to be a partner on the dojo. And like it stung for a little bit because like ouch, you just
You're
called
like,
me not
ow,
a
I'm really good.
animator. But like,
Yeah.
but no, they were 100% right because I wasn't a good animator at that time,
Right.
and I kind of
Right,
knew
right.
it. But I was hosting so many collabs at that time. But
Yeah,
that's
and it's
the
because
whole
you were
community
there.
aspect, yeah.
And that's
That
so
reflects
much
on it
more
exactly.
valuable. It's just and that's honestly what the only thing I've ever been good at for anything is I've just been there. And that's why I've never been, even like I just had a lunch with my mom. I haven't seen my mom in a long time, and I just had a lunch with her. And you know, she always asks about, because they never really fully grasp what I do, and they've always like been like, well, what are you doing now? It's, you know, like, what crazy thing can you tell me now, right? And I'm always just gloating about all my friends. I'm like, I talk about all the things that you guys are doing and all the things that like Alan has done and all these other people that I've known and the successes that they've seen, and they're like, why is that not you? Like, why didn't you do any of those things? And I'm like, well, I've never been that good. Like, I've been close at a number of different times, but like how I helped or how I participated in those things and how I know them was because I was just there. Whatever it is of any value, if I could provide anything, it's just me being there. I help get people started, be successful doing the thing that they were always going to be successful doing. I think I help shine a light to their own confidence that they could do it. And fortunately, like, I'm at peace with it, but a lot of people around me aren't at peace with it. That doesn't bring me up in any way. Like, that doesn't financially benefit me. And that's how like the normal world, you know, has to see value as they go, well, where's your millions of subscribers, or where's your millions of dollars, or whatever it is, you know? And I go, that's not what I do. The value I provide. There isn't a job role for that, and it can be important for still providing great value to the world and allowing people to do great things. And even if it's not me, if I feel as though I can help participate in any way by helping people see that in themselves, then I am okay with that. I am still at peace with that. My mom doesn't get it. Like, I don't know. She's like, I don't get what if your friends have done all these things, then I don't know why you didn't just do that also. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, it just didn't work out for me. You know, I wasn't as good as them, or whatever it may shook down to be. It just, that's not how it worked out for me.
Dang, I had another question and I forgot it.
Sorry.
That's okay. Shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh, I don't know. It'll come back to me eventually. Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember. Did Hyun ever tell you that the reason he made the dojo was to like have a place for you to return as a leader when you come back?
Not until that episode.
He mentioned that in
known
the
that.
episode. Okay, we talked about it again recently when I had him on this series.
No,
And
I didn't
that was
know.
so wild to me. Well, what'd you think of that? Like, what?
I mean, I feel very undeserved, you know? I feel like, well, first of all, I'm incredibly honored that, like, that's insane. Like, again, I'm completely mind blown about that. But, I feel as though he doesn't give himself any credit for everything he's done. I think, and this is only from my observation, I think he feels that some of the things that he's done is only because of the things that I've done in the past. And whether even some of that, even a monicum, even like a tiny percentage of that is true, he doesn't give himself any of the credit for the insane amount he's done. You know, I don't think I'm deserved in a position to take over any leadership role position. I don't think I'm good as a leader, period. Like, I don't think I'm a very good head of something, you know? So hearing that, like, it warmed my heart in a way that almost made me cry. But from the stance of like, I definitely not deserved of that, you know? And everything he's done has worked out so tremendously that there's no reason for me, like, there's no reason for me to take over, you know? What would I do? How could I improve what you've done, you know? And why would I take that from you? That's the way I see it. Why would I want to diminish anything that you've done? Because I feel as though there's nothing I can why would I take the torch in any way?
How well put. Yeah, no, I agree. I was just curious how you felt about it when you heard it.
I think it's really cool.
I thought that was so interesting. I mean, that's so humbling.
It is, and it's very, very sweet, and it's very, very cool. Like, it's something that, even just the idea of it just like breaks me. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like,
it's all right.
I don't think he gives himself enough credit to understand what
100%,
he's done.
I agree.
Yeah,
no, he is monumental to the community. He belongs on the Mount Rushmore of stick figure animation.
1,000%.
Yeah. Who else belongs on the Mount Rushmore?
Turquoise.
Yeah, I can see that.
you know what I mean? Like, regardless of him not being really like involved now, and any of the details
he was
around
absolutely
that,
impactful.
he's too critical. Yeah, he's too critical.
100%.
I don't know. Like,
I would
those
say
two
definitely
easily.
you.
I honestly don't think so, though. Like, I feel like I don't know.
But
I don't think I've done enough important things.
Fluid Anims and the creation of RHG fundamentally changed the community, and I don't think you could argue against that.
Yeah, but I also feel like if you look at it like percentage-wise of like impact or number of people, right? It seems small. It seems really small compared to like even just like Hyun's Dojo today is larger than Fluid Anim's peak ever was. And it's not even close. It's not even kind of close.
Sure, but you found, like, I would 100% disagree that I feel like RHG is so huge. Like, you can't mention stick figures without talking about RHG. I mean, you can, but it would feel like you're leaving a huge part of the community's history out, because that's where I feel like so many iconic characters and animators started to get together and more importantly started to work together. Because that was kind of the whole point, is you would be working with the other creator to build a battle, whether it be one person makes it or you make your own versions. It's still a form of collaboration.
Yeah.
Which is like key to this community now.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And I understood it from the standpoint of like, when I look back at it, I thought to myself, I don't understand why me just being there helps people like glue together and like get excited, right? But I was like, I just realized that if you push two people together, magic happens, right? Like, they both become better animators. They both are way more excited. They both want to do more, So I was like, that was one of the core elements of like what you were mentioning about RHG, and why that's actually what I wanted from it the most, was like, if most of these people are probably similar to me, they're probably also kind of like trying to find their way to interact with other people online, or maybe they want an avenue to feel more comfortable to do so, or maybe they're just so easy for them to just disappear and just do their own thing that's what they'll probably end up doing. But I know that if they do that, they probably will just like eventually become uninterested and just like leave the hobby, right? But I know that they could build like really, really good friendships, like decade plus long friendships, if they have something that like binds them together to get excited about something. And that's really all the vessel that RHG was for. It was like, look how cool my guy is, and then being like, oh my god, theirs is so cool, and then realizing that you can now work together and make something like incredible, right? And then other people see that, and then it spawns like 100 more people wanting to do that, and then it just infinitely takes off by itself.
Yeah.
So, like, I can see it. Like, I don't know. It's hard for me to say that I could put myself on there, because I feel like, I'm the
it's egotistical, yeah.
Well, I don't want to put myself on there, and then also like, how important is a spark to a flame? And that's what I see is like, now we have this like roaring fire, and if you want to like think back, like, okay, well, this was the spark that made it, but it's like, it's such an it might be significant, but also insignificant in the bigger picture of like how much work and effort other people have now put in a big way that have changed more people's lives. Under the same, in their own ways, that are, to me, could be more significant. Like, I think that, like, you have to put Alan on there even though he wasn't like directly involved in like the stick figure communities, he's undoubtedly reshaped and formed stick figure media. And then also beyond that,
he's created jobs for the arguably the first time.
Exactly, and that was like my big goal. My biggest thing was like we needed an avenue where stick figure animators didn't have to just go pick up a job somewhere and then inevitably get stuck in the 9-to-5 trap forever and just never be creative again. And that's what terrified me, because I was like, none of these people understand how creative they are. None of these people understand how creative they are, and the whole world's going to tell them on loop that they need to go to college, get a degree, and go work at Macy's or wherever the fuck. You know what I mean? There's no. I'm not saying that's not invalid, but I'm like, these people are so incredibly special that like this has to exist. The world needs it to exist, because the value that they can bring to the world can change the world, because media helps shape culture, and the media that they're creating is going to foster more creativity and could be the thing that helps keep someone sane, in their life, because they have stick figure animation to keep them comfortable. I realize that a lot of people aren't always very fortunate or have a very bad living situation, and sometimes all it takes is just like one outlet to keep them going. And I just found that like this very specific media targets a very specific group of people, and I think that those specific group of people need that connection more than anything else. So it was really, really important for me. And again, gutturally, I didn't know why. Like when I'm saying these things logically with my thoughts and verbally expressing it, that's after a lot of reflection. In the moment, at the time, it was a guttural feeling that I needed to do this thing. It just, from the inside, it just felt like what I needed to do was really, really clear. And so it was just a matter of like just building the thing that was in my mind, like copying it and writing it down, almost like a dream that was playing out in front of me, And now that I've been able to spend years looking back at it, I'm able to make more sense of it and kind of like actualize it verbally. But in the moment, it was just like, I'm really excited about this thing, and I know this is important, and I'm not going to stop. And that was it. That was basically the bones of it.
Anyway, I still think you belong on the Mount Rushmore. I think it would be, if I were to put up my Mount Rushmore for stick figures, it would have to be Alan, Hyun, Turquoise, and you. It feels wrong if you're not on there.
That's crazy. I mean, I'd be honored to be on your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Viewers, let me know what your Mount Rushmore.
Hey, chat! So I did not collect a single thing of bedrock in today's challenge, but leave a comment below if you're on the Mount Rushmore, or my next episode, who are we taking off? Just kidding.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't have anyone else planned at the moment, but I don't know. It feels like we're at a point where we're wrapping up, but like I want to wrap it up where I'm close to you, but I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea where I am right now.
Were you building your tower thingy?
I was, and then I wanted to not do that for a bit, so I started trying to get leather for the enchanting table, because I want to get a fully booked out enchanting table. So I went to go look for cows, and then I went into the woods, and now I don't know where I am.
Oh no, dude. I've just been playing with sand. I've literally been just terraforming the sand over here the whole time. I've been playing like I'm on beach day. I've been just like making the hillside look different.
Well, the episode can't end if I'm not there to properly say goodbye. So we got to keep going.
Okay, okay, that's fine. I'll just make my way back to town and we'll keep talking. Yeah. Do you have any more questions that you could think of? You do a really good job of like dealing with my rambliness.
Thank you.
Keeping me on track.
I mean, I feel like I often have a point to get to, and then you say something that's like, "Ooh, I want to talk about that instead." So then I forget. I tend to do that with myself as well. I do have a bed with me, so we can skip the night once it comes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. If I get on top of this mountain, I should be able to tell where I am. Hopefully, we'll see.
You could probably see Pie Man's house.
Or hopefully I can see the lighthouse. Maybe I'll put Pie Man's house on top of the lighthouse. Maybe that's what I'll do.
You could do that. Yep.
2 and 1. Okay, well. Okay, let me set my bed. I can sleep through the night. I don't have to deal with monsters. I don't know.
Hooray.
Gorsh, do you have any questions for me?
I didn't have any in mind
That's
off the top of my head. But do you like are you enjoying your little series, your little podcast here?
I am. People.
I like that you had like
DMing
little
me.
landmarks to tell me. Like, oh, look, this is where this person. I like that because it's like I always feel like Minecraft worlds have their own little personalities and they hold memories because of things that you've done in them. And since you're like making people stay, have something tangible in the world, they're forever now a part of those memories, which is kind of neat.
Oh yeah, I think I'm going in the right direction. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying the series. It's raw, unedited. It's just a fun reason to talk, I guess. I don't know.
Dude,
People keep telling me that they like it, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
I'm telling you, this is where real media ends up again. This is where it kind of like started in like early infancy, like YouTube Let's Plays, where it was just like
That's
PewDiePie
exactly
or
what I'm
whatever,
trying to
just hanging
recapture.
out. And it got so min-maxed to the point where it's like, hey chat, what's up? It's your Appleators, how we doing? You know, bro fist in the chat, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and today here's something very, very eye-catching and clickable. Wow, engage. Wow, you know what I mean? Like it became so min-maxed
Yeah.
that everything became like a mannequin interaction. You know, where it's like it's so not like human or real. And I think it's gonna cycle back to just like people looking for little spaces of people just being themselves and not super polished and not so produced. You know, it's so made for TV, internet.
I mean, the internet is the new TV.
It is. But I feel like there's commercial success people like Mr. Beast or Logan Paul, where it's like you can see it's kind of very expensive, very high production, very like there's a whole team and thought, you know, like behind it and everything.
Yeah.
And there's like someone like Queso, right, where it's just like a dude
there's so much
that
more
people
real,
fell in
yeah.
love with because he's just being himself. He probably doesn't have a whole team like production team with scripts and you know game plans and you know ROIs written. I'm sure maybe there is some of that stuff involved, whatever. But like you get what I'm saying. Like I think that the internet is
you could tell
looking
there's
for
a
realness
difference.
again.
It's more centered around the person individually, and they're not trying
Yes.
to make it a business. It might be a
Correct.
business, but that's only so that they can do more of what they love. You can always tell. I think that's why I like Markiplier a lot.
Exactly.
He does have a business. He has people, I'm sure, full time to help out with his videos. But like he posts so infrequently because he just kind of does stuff whenever he has
What he
time,
wants.
whenever he really wants to, and he's so open and vocal and public about. He's such an open book. Sorry, I really like Markiplier.
I know. That's why I reference him because to my mind, he's doing all of those things correctly, organically, as a person just living their joy, doing what they love to do, which isn't to say that I'm sure there's days where he's like, I'm doing this thing and I don't really want to do it. It sucks, whatever. But I still think that like, that's how I live my life. And unfortunately, it's not always given me financial success. But I do think that, but it's made me more happy, right? And I've had money before. And I will say the times that I've been more financially successful, I've never been rich, but like the times I've been more financially comfortable, I've not been happier. And I've really taken a lens to look at like, what am I doing, right? Like, what is all of this for? And if I only have so much time here, shouldn't I be having a good time? And if making money is my only thing that I'm trying to do, and that's not making me happy, then I'm going to minimize that. And so sometimes what I'm interested in makes me money. Other times it doesn't, you know, but I think that it's important to live your joy. And when you can do that, more times than not, that joy, like, it has like a magnetism to it that brings opportunities and financial success. I've done so many impossible things. Pretty much my entire adulthood has been riddled with things that should only be impossible. I animated stick figures, which turned into a job. That should never have happened. And then I pivoted from that not job, turning it into a job, into selling Pokemon cards, which now is popular. But mind you, in 2015, 2016, nobody was doing that. And it became my living doing that. And again, people once again had to ask me, like, what do you do? And I told them, they're like, how do you keep doing this? How do you have another job that makes no sense no matter how much you try to explain it to me? And then, I was working with my childhood hero, which is also like impossible. And I had to like try to describe that, and there's just so many impossible things. And I had to finally face that reality that, like, how does this keep happening? And the core of it is that I'm just toxically bound to chase the things that bring me happiness. And even though there's no like direct, clear path as to how it will make me successful, everything just works out for me. And that's my motto. I say it all the time. If something bad happens in my life, I let it sit with me for just a little bit, and then I go, you know what? Everything always just works out for me. And then it always does, because it always has. And so that's the only way I can think about it, even logically, from like a scientific standpoint. I've had so many horrendous things happen, and in the end, everything just works out for me. So I urge people to do the same thing. Remember that. Just everything works out for you. It will. It has. It will eventually, It might suck right now, because it sucks for a lot of people right now. But in the end, this all shakes down to it will work out for you in the end.
Wow. Where are you?
I'm going to your red tower. You actually got a lot done on that. That was like way smaller.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna make it like 2 times taller.
I did nothing. So I built a weird looking sandcastles when I played with sand.
Wait, let me go see your sandcastle.
Dude, you won't even it doesn't look like I did anything. Oh, but there's guys over here. Oh shit!
Oh no, not again.
The Raiders!
Oh, there you are.
You see them?
Oh, don't worry about them. Don't go towards them. They're fine.
All right, I'm not going towards y'all.
After a bit.
I'm not hostile.
You can go faster if you like go underwater. You can like actually properly swim.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like if you press control,
like I forget.
Press control underwater.
Control?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just like I used to know all this stuff. I played a bajillion hours of Minecraft, and it's like I have to like reteach myself.
Yeah, see how much faster you are. Yeah, I kind of destroyed this island earlier when I was looking for a treasure chest.
Yeah, I built this dumb little. This took like 10 seconds. Not really. I did this for like 5 minutes, and then after I did this, it actually has an opening in the inside, so it looks funny on the inside, but. And then over there, I just moved all the sand around.
Okay.
I just terraformed the sand how I wanted it to look. And if somebody walked over this, they probably would not even know that it wasn't just like randomly generated.
Wait, this is like Hero Brian.
What? Like the mythical creature on Minecraft? I did all of this.
He makes like little pyramids.
Yeah, all of this is all just like random terraforming of the sand.
I can now tell people, hey, you see the mound of sand over there? Yeah, Stone did that.
That's it.
And they're not going to believe me.
You mean like the sand that looks like just like the sand anywhere? Yeah, no, it wasn't like that. And then he made it look like
different. And now it looks new.
It did look too different than that. It looked pretty similar, but it is different.
Wow. Well, great job on your terraforming.
All of this over to the left. It was like it started here and went up. Like the hill was like right here was like the center of the hill, and I moved like the whole hillside to the left.
Well, look at you.
And then I changed all the peaks and stuff. Yeah. I was just playing with. It was my beach day. I'm just playing in the sand.
It really was. I think the thumbnail is just gonna be you like playing in your little sand castle over there.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was, dude. I was just playing at the beach all day. That's all I did. I didn't go collect anything. This is the first time I've ever done this. This is my only unique experience in Minecraft. that I've ever had. I've never
Playing in the
just
sand.
Yep, just playing in the sand, no purpose whatsoever. Didn't build anything really. Like I did the sand castle, but that's still just playing in the sand. My whole purpose was just pick it up. I literally was just like, I literally would just do this, and I'd be like, right, that feels good. I did that. That's good. That's how it's supposed to be.
You did that for 2 hours.
I did that for 2 hours.
Oh my god. All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's about to turn night, and then we can end it in the city, or in the
Hooray! Who built this?
This is
Boat.
natural. This is a natural structure.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a shipwreck. It comes with loot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
It took me, I think, 4 episodes to notice it was there.
Really?
Yeah.
It's got really good wood in it too. Like that's some quick planks.
I kind of want to leave it like that though, unless you want to come back in another episode and just shift everything over a bit.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just move all the sand a little closer.
Just rearrange all
I
the
just
wood on
slowly have a sandstorm that engulfs this place. Also, thank you, Pymations, for using let me use your bed. I love that. It's really warm. It's the only warm place here.
Sorry, it's Pie-Man, not Pymations.
I thought it said Pymations at the top. Pie-Man.
No,
Sorry,
no,
Pie-Man.
I might have Pymations on it.
Pie-Man's epic chat.
Yeah, Pie-Man. He's a friend of mine.
Yeah, I've been sleeping in your hot house. It's like a sauna in there.
Indeed, it is. Well, thank you for joining. You want to say anything before we go and leave?
Guys, leave me a comment, please. I love reading the comments. I only get it on the Dojocast, and I only get like 20 of them, and it's not enough. You gotta feed me, dude. Feed me, please. Let me know that you heard me say stuff on this episode, okay? That's what I got.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Or don't leave a comment. Don't feel like you have to. This is
you
YouTube
have
style.
to do it, dude. You have to do it.
You don't have to do it.
You're contractually obligated. I will sue.
No, you're not. I'm just beating on you.
You signed the NDA. You all did at the beginning of the video. You were gonna leave a comment.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.